Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Word in Clarity on this channel. Thank you for coming back. Don't forget to subscribe and get your notifications turned on. So, today we're going to be looking at the poverty mindset. When you look on the Word in Clarity website and you search for the word mindset, you're going to see an excerpt there that you can read at your free time as well. This is just going to be a summary of what that excerpt is basically talking about. The poverty mindset. So as you would have noticed, the title is saying something that poverty is not just the absence or lack of money. It's first a mind thing. Proverbs 23:7, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you see that our ideologies, our mindsets, our thinking patterns, our thought processes are a determinant of the outlook of our lives. So a person is eventually going to become who they think they are. So as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you are everything you are based on your mindset. You are everything you are based on your mindset, not because you don't have money or you have money. You are everything you are because of a mindset. So it doesn't matter whether you start out wealthy from a wealthy background. It doesn't matter whether you start out from a poor background. What matters is the mindset that you build over time. That will eventually determine the outlook of your life. And so this gives everyone a level playing field in life. That no matter how you started, you can change the turn of things by developing the right set of thinking patterns, mindset. So a person could be poor today in the sense people think of not having money. They don't have money today, but by their behavior, their attitude, you can tell if they are going to be wealthy in the future. So they don't have physical cash right now, but because of the way they are behaving today, you can see the signs of someone who's going to be wealthy in the future. And someone could have a lot, but by their attitude today, they could lose that wealth in the future. And so it's important to first establish that point, that poverty is not a lack of money thing, it's first a mind thing. In Luke 4:18, Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because He hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised." So you see, He said preach the gospel to the poor. He didn't say give money to the poor, because He understood that the way to help someone who is poor is not by giving them more money. It's by introducing them to a message, to an information, and it is by that information the person's life will be changed. So you don't help a poor person by giving them more money. You hear people say things like, wealthy people should give their money to the poor so that everyone will not have to struggle. But the truth is, no matter how many times we redistribute wealth in the world, there are going to be people who will still be poor. Jesus said the poor you will always have among you, not because He was cursing them or saying something negative at them. He said that because even if wealth is redistributed to everyone to have the same amount of money, people are going to return to the level they were before. Because even in the redistribution of wealth, the way each person would handle money given to them is going to be different. So some people will multiply what they are given, and others will even spend to the extent that they are going to be owing others. And it's all based on a mindset. So your mindset would still take you back to where you were. There are many things that are going to induce poverty or perpetuate poverty. These are mindsets. I want us to look at just 4 major mindsets that induce poverty. So first, there's a victim mentality that keeps people in that space of always wanting to be the ones receiving help. So when you even talk about a concept like destiny helper, they never see themselves as that person who can improve another person's life. They always see themselves from that point of, I need help, and until I get help for myself to solve my own personal problems, I really don't care about other people's problems. And that's a bad place to be. Don't be entitled. An entitled person is the one who will be angry when they ask for help and someone is unable to give them that help. You have to understand that everyone is trying their best to earn an income. And so if you ask for help and they are not able to provide that help that you need from them, there's no need being angry, because one, it's not your money, and two, they may have a plan for their money. So there's no need being angry when someone does not support you, right? It means that you are seeing that person as your source, as your life, and as your everything, which should not be so, because no one should take the place of God in your life. God is your only source, okay? So don't be entitled. So the first is the entitlement culture, and it's a victim mentality that gives rise to that. Don't blame others for where you are, okay? Even if your parents didn't take care of you, you don't have to constantly be living in that place of blaming people, blaming the government for not providing you a job, blaming everybody apart from looking at yourself to see what you are doing wrong. So don't be entitled. The second thing is people who are always looking to receive and never give. You have to understand that everyone has something. The parable of the talents shows that everyone has something. Some may have 5, some may have 2, but everyone at least has one. And it's important to understand that whatever you have been given by God is meant to make your life better. So don't always be looking to always take from people, but be that person that is open to giving. No one can say they have nothing. In that parable of the talent, the Bible says that even those who thought they did not have, what they had was taken from them. So they thought they didn't have, but actually they had something. And it was taken from them and given to the one who multiplied what he had. So everyone has something. You just have to discover it. And don't always be the one who takes, but be willing to give. That is how you get better. Even if you don't have the little, you can give. The third poverty mindset is short-sightedness. So the short-sighted person is the one who doesn't see afar. So when you don't see beyond your present and what you have now, that's short-sightedness. So an example of this is the average person thinks that money is cash. So once it's not cash, they don't think it's money. But money is anything that has monetary value. It may not be cash right now, but anything you have in your life that has monetary value, that is money. So if you have a skill, you have a knowledge, something you know, that can be translated into money. So it's important to look beyond just cash, right? So when the average person says they don't have money, they mean they don't have cash. But there are things in your life that can translate into money in the future. So it's important to focus on things like that rather than just determining wealth by just the cash you have in your account. The final thing is non-strategic relationships. So the poor person will only make friends based on trivial reasons. But someone who has the mindset of a wealthy person, their friendships are intentional, not because they are trying to use people, no, but they pick friends based on who will add value to their lives. It doesn't even have to be financial, but any friend who pushes you to be a better version of yourself. It's important to have such relationships so that your associations are not pushing you to spend money that you don't have just to look a certain way before people. So the conclusion of all of this is that poverty and abundance are all in the mind. Statistics have shown that 70% of lottery winners lose their entire fortune and end up bankrupt. Why? Because it will still go back to the mindset. Because their minds couldn't handle that level of abundance, they use the money wrongly and end up at the level they were before, or even worse, because they don't have the capacity to handle that wealth. Wealth has to do with capacity. And so once you don't build that capacity, you will still lose no matter how much you make of the job you have. Stay blessed.